So I've got with me today Thomas, Willem, Davie and Pieter, and we're going to be talking about quite a few topics, just sort of all aligned with our journey, finding solutions for South African problems. I think something, Willem, you've been talking about a lot is the harbours. Every introduction you talk about the harbours, and we can get Davie and Pieter to talk about the harbours and tell us the problems. I mean, from what I know, the harbours are not functioning, or they haven't been functioning.
Yeah, but we've seen a change. And I mean, we've been in Durban, we've been mentioning this, Michelle Phillips, and we've been seeing actually that there is a positive change.
How important are the harbours?
Harbours are crucially important to a country like South Africa. And we need to export things, but it's also crucially important for the agricultural sector in South Africa. And I know that the farmers are really pulling their hair out because they can't get their stuff exported out of the harbours. In fact, there are some international comparisons where South African harbours are compared to other countries in the world. And South African harbours are the worst in the world on some of these comparisons.
So why are the harbours not working? Is it management? Is it deterioration? What's the reason?
The harbours falls under Portnet, which is a subsidiary of Transnet. And Transnet, during the state capture years, was one of the most significant sites of extraction. Transnet was one of the parastatals that really was at ground zero of state capture, which meant that not only were they mismanaged, but they were sites of extraction where you saw criminal networks linked to the Guptas extracting resources from Transnet. It affected Portnet.
Well, there are two additional points that I think are important. One is that we're losing a lot of business to our neighboring countries. They're capitalizing on our lack of proper management. That's the one. A second point that's
Like
important.
Maputo.
Yeah,
Exactly. A second point that is important is that, yes, it's good to get private sector participation, but a harbour typically is something that belongs to a state in most countries in the world. Now, I'm very much in favour of privatisation, don't misunderstand me, but the reality is that the government that we have in South Africa is so highly incompetent and destructive in many instances that it's better for the private sector to run things that traditionally are run by the state. But there are signs.
What impact is a functioning harbour going to make on economic growth?
If you fix the infrastructure and you make sure that the infrastructure works properly, then I can tell you we can talk about 1-2% extra economic growth in South Africa. It will have a huge impact on South Africa.